Well, there are definitely some pros and cons to the different operating systems when it comes to developing mobile applications. iOS was, if not first to market, you can see there's Palm Breeze and other things prior to iOS coming out, but certainly the biggest boom. There's a lot of development tools. There's a lot of developers working on iOS just because it's been around for a longer period of time. But with Android pushing 50-60% of the new phone activations now, and starting to surpass iOS in a lot of those categories, you're starting to see just as much Android development being done. The from the developers that we've worked with on projects, they usually say that getting things to be pixel perfect and exactly the way the marketing manager wants them may be easier on iOS, whereas the functionality of and being able to develop, especially if you have a Java background, being able to jump right into Android development and be able to produce something meaningful quickly might be easier. They both support SQLite pretty well. They both integrate with HTML5 pretty well. The one thing that we haven't seen really take off that would have been nice was, products that allow you to write once and then, deploy to both platforms, or to maybe to BlackBerry as well, or Windows Phone. We saw a few come out early, or they tried to use JavaScript or jQuery mobile or some other technology in order to write once, run everywhere. But there were so many limitations. The first app that I ever thought of, which was basically push a button and it makes a gong sound. I said, how would you do that in jQuery mobile? And the first thing I heard was, we don't support multimedia yet in the library. So, even the simpler kind of edge conditions where you weren't using, straight drop downs and submit buttons weren't really supported out of the gate. And I understand it's a hard nut to crack across multiple development platforms, but it would be nice if you could, write an app once and not have to completely rewrite it on other platforms in order to support several of them. Like a Golf Shot, a golf GPS application. They had to completely develop separate ports for Android and iOS and all of the separate QA and everything that goes along with that. Probably not to make twice as much money as they were just from developing for one platform. So there was advantages and disadvantages to either of them. Ideally, we'd love to get to a point where you can write once and compile down to either.